Hello and welcome back to Brandon the Therapist. We have been elbow deep in the Every Bits Counts challenge all month long. We are in the last few days of August and we definitely are feeling the burn of standing over a hot canner practically every day this month. I have the last bit of peaches that came from a big bundle. We've been eating on them. I've been doing different things with them. The last bit of this, I'm going to can up. Most people consider this rebel canning because we're leaving the skins on, but I just find it to be very healthy. Since they're scrubbed, they come straight from the tree, I find it a little safer to do than a grocery store version. So I'm just slicing them thin and getting them in the jars. I will not be sugaring or sweetening these. I'm just going to be adding some water and a little bit of treat. I'll show you that in a second. We plan on using these as fresh eating or semi-cooked eating, as you might say. We just crack them open and pour this syrup kind of juice that it creates over maybe sparkling cider, and then we eat the peaches fresh. You can even eat the peaches over ice cream. I'm going to add some vanilla bean to these jars of peaches, and I have some of the vanilla bean residue on my fingers. Trying to determine, I think one should be enough. I'll save these three for something else. Okay, and add some water. Welcome back to the last day of the Every Bits Counts challenge, and today I'm going to finish chopping up tomatoes. So today I'm going to finish chopping up tomatoes, so come along. I'm trying to do this salsa style. Got two recipes right here that I'm trying to keep up with and choose based off of how much quantity I have at the end. That's how you can it, right? I showed you guys how I made diced tomatoes before. It is pretty much the same process to get them prepared if you want to do it by hand. I know some people have some very wonderful food processors. I don't have that. I have a very high power blender technically I can use. And I'm trying to do a 2-for-1er. I'm trying to see if I can get 1 or 2 more jars of diced tomatoes, then use what's left over to make a small batch of salsa. So, I have tomato skins right here next to me. I'm going to get those on the dehydrator real soon. That will probably go for about, last time I did them, I couldn't remember if it was for 3 hours 4 hours. It wasn't too long, but it gave me a half pint. Those 9 tomatoes last week gave me a half pint of tomato powder. Keeping it going. Trick I have for making salsa is to go ahead and warm it through in the pot. Take out half and pulse it to the thinness that you don't mind, and it'll blend well with the rest of the chunky that's left in the pot. I'm gonna just pulse it. You guys can see the steam coming off of it to let you know that it is on. That's sort of the texture we were looking for. I think that's good chip texture. Okay, bring it to a boil. Welcome back. It is September 1st. Yesterday was the last day of the Every Bit Counts challenge. It was very intense. It was an intense month. We were able to put back a ton of jars. I haven't even counted. Maybe I should count to give you guys an estimate of what we did. But it was an eye-opener to how much my family actually eats. A little family of 3. How much we actually eat in the 7-8 months of winter time. Once the gardens are put to rest, and when you start to harvest again, for us, we've always aimed for about 7 months. We're in a different zone now, so we're able to get something out of the garden in spring, actual springtime, like lettuce and radishes. But prior to this, we always had to plan for 8, even 9 months of eating, because in Minnesota it was too cold to do much of anything until practically summer, the month of summer, June. But I wanted to show you guys the last bit of what I finished up yesterday, the salsa and the pizza sauce. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen me break down that $15 box of tomatoes actually got us a ton of goodies. I might go ahead and spread it out on the table so you can see exactly what $15 of tomatoes got us. I wanted to show you that we are still freezing our own tomatoes that we are growing, and I wanted to kind of explain to you why did we do that. Let me grab it right quick. So this is a gallon bag full of tomatoes that we grow. This is what I have in my house. I'm pretty sure my mother has a bag going at her house where the actual garden is. We only have 4 plants, I believe, 4 tomato plants. I realized that in order to can up what we love and the quantity for the number of people that we're feeding, I'm going to need almost 15-20 plants. This year was an eye-opener for that. We've only grown a plant or 2 for fun, fresh eating, and then I went out and filled the pantry with boxes of tomatoes from the local farmer. This year I wanted to do less of that. So since our plants are still producing, And we already have this in the freezer, plus my mother has some too. We will be able to make something out of this. The goal is spaghetti sauce, but I'll keep you posted as we pull this out later on. But now we know exactly how many plants we need to grow next year. So, this is what $15 got us, and some hard work. Let me be clear. We have tomato powder. This is just under 2 quarts of tomato juice or drippings from when I canned this. I'll do something special with this soon. We have 4 pizza sauces. All of these back here are diced tomatoes, and these 3 up front, I'm missing one. 4 salsas. Yes, that's right. So we got all of this for $15. Locally grown organic tomatoes from a local farmer. Yeah, it took some work. It was about 4 whole days in the kitchen for the most part. But I wouldn't trade it. We do this every year. And our goal is pretty much to grow this, where I don't have to buy this anymore. I did a lot of seed saving this year from tomatoes that we grow. So hopefully we won't have to buy this $15 box next year. There's a couple other items that we have yet to do. And hopefully I can bring you guys along, because this is our hobby. This is my hobby for the most part. I love it. I enjoy it. It brings me some peace and comfort to not only can but dehydrate my goodies that I grow and get from farmers that I make connections with. So this is a project. A project that I will soon tackle, and I'm going to go ahead and divide this up because there's some loved ones who want some goodies. Preferably my mother and my grandmother and my father. So I'll go ahead and get this boxed up for them. See, I told you I was missing some. Here are 2 more sauces that didn't make it to the table. I want to thank you guys for stopping by the channel every single week as we were canning up, preserving, chopping, freezing, you name it, all month long for the challenge. We truly enjoyed it, and we're so glad you guys came by. I'm wrapping it up for today, but canning is not done. Preserving is not done. In Zone 7B, we still have things on the vine. Tomatoes are still coming in. I have a squash is still growing. It's tiny, but it's growing. I even see pickles trying to come through. So we still have a little bit of eating available and preserving available for us in the future for the next, I don't know, 2 months maybe. And then I also grabbed some goodies from a farmer. So I challenge you guys, get out there, find a farmer that you could connect with, and find a way to put back some goodies this winter so you can enjoy. It is not hard. Even a neighbor can overproduce on something and be glad to like hand it over and share it. Check with a family member. I have a cousin with a gigantic walnut tree, and
last year I grabbed a couple just to figure out how in the world to tackle walnuts, and it took a learning curve, but I was sitting at her elbow learning how to deal with the walnuts because her walnut tree produces more than she can consume. So find a family member, a neighbor, someone in your community so you can learn from and preserve from. Until next time, guys, hope to see you around, and talk to you then. Bye, guys.